Well, you're right, guys. If you're anything like me, you've got a glut of courgettes this year. What a year for courgettes, I can't believe it. I've got 5 plants on my new plot, and I am picking, I don't know, six fruits a day? Crazy, crazy. Anyway, the video coming up, a dozen ways to use your courgettes. A bit of cooking, a bit of preserving, and a bit of saving for later. Okay, then let's get going with what I call Courgette Salad. Need to clear the palate first, you know, every good chef clears the palate before he tastes anything. Spiralise the courgette is the main thing with this one. Yeah, nifty little tool this. One side you can do really fine things like what I'm doing now, the spaghetti thingy. And the other side is a bit coarser for other things. Right, a few veggies. Oh, I just chop up some tomatoes, half or quarter of them, doesn't really matter. These are tumbler from my front garden. Finally, chop a bit of basil. Yeah, gives it a nice flavour. Slice some salami. A couple of chunks of feta. Some house dressing. Whatever you want, house dressing, ranch dressing, blue cheese dressing works. And I forgot the olives. I got some lemon soaked olives. They're lovely. And that is, honestly, it's as quick as this. And I had it at work the day after I made this. Fantastic. I've just been looking back at the videos I've filmed over the last week about what to do with courgettes, and I've got quite a few courgettes. I just realised that they're all the recipes are my own making. I've not followed any classic recipe for any of these. So basically, guys, just do what you want to do. You know what I mean? So it's back to the trusty potato peeler for this one. Believe it or not, it does finer ribbons than the mandolin, so brilliant. And all we're going to do is just show it to the griddle pan, really. Just got a couple of lines on it, takes a bit of the moisture out of the bit of the courgette. Yeah, like I say, another do what you want to do recipe, really. Let the slices cool down a little bit and load them up with whatever you want. I mean, I've got, I just seen there the cooled jalapeno peppers, ricotta cheese, salami, parma ham, sun-dried tomatoes, sun-dried peppers, and whatever combination you want. Roll them up. If you're going to eat these straight away, you probably don't need to put a cocktail stick through them. I just did it because I knew they'd fall apart in my 12-mile journey to work. And I just made up a little drizzle of olive oil, balsamic vinegar, and a bit of lemon juice. Lazy lemon juice. I couldn't see a point of wasting a whole lemon for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 drops of lemon juice. Give it a whisk together and pour it over the top. Right, no video for the courgette loaf or courgette cake. All you do with this one is grate a courgette, wring out the gratings in a tea towel and add them to your favourite sponge mix, but leave out about maybe about a quarter of the liquid, whatever liquid you're using. Lovely cake. Okay then, next up is courgette soup with ricotta. So basic ingredients: ricotta, courgette. I had a lonely patty pan squash, so I put that in as well. An onion, lazy garlic, because I'm lazy, white pepper, and a vegetable stock cube. And water to make up the volume. And here is why I'm doing voiceovers. You've got to love this soup maker. Just a little bit of oil in the bottom to stop things sticking. Not so bad if you put liquids in first, but I didn't. Chop everything up. Courgette, onion, squash, and poke it all in there, and half an hour later you've got a soup. And like I said, about half an hour later, one lovely pureed courgette and ricotta soup. So that's one portion for me to take to work, and I managed to fill 2 little Chinese takeaway containers, and they will be in the freezer. I can't remember if I mentioned it, but the yellow courgettes I'm using are a variety called Atena Polka, and they, even on their own, they are very, very tasty. You know, some people say courgettes are bland. Well, whatever. Right then, stop waffling, mate. About 6mm, 1/4 inch slices, as many as you want, really. I just did the 3. And what we're going to do now is going to salt them for an hour, just to take the excess moisture out. Don't leave them too long because courgettes will soak up the salt. And here we are an hour later, and you can see just how much water's come out already. And this is how I do my egg batter. Separate the egg, yolk and white, whisk up the white, beat the yolk, and then reincorporate it, and then add as much flour as you need to make a stiff batter. It works for me. I'm sure there's hundreds of other ways to do it. And for these courgette fritters, just adding a good sprinkling of chili powder. No, not too much there, Steve. Hang on. And just gently fold the yolk back in, and as much flour as you need to make the batter that you want. It can be runny, it can be thick, it doesn't matter. Just dredge your courgette strips into the flour. You can season the flour if you want, and then dunk them into the batter that you just made. Make sure it's all over. Use your fingers and fry. That'll do for me. Right guys, just to show you how easy it is to do a stuffed courgette. Totally random, got no idea what's in this thing. I just grabbed loads out of the cupboard. So we're going to make a stuffed courgette. Oh, it's windy again, so it will be a voiceover. So I'm going to do, first of all, cut a few things up ready, and then we get on with it. Do a bit of basil, that's mint, basil. Various herbs from out the front. No idea what they all are. Rubbish at the end there. This one I'm going to do something different. I'm going to stick a bunch of holes in this one. Got a melon baller somewhere, but I'm not going to use it. Lightly oil the outside of the courgettes. Just so they cook a bit better. That's it. Right, so that's why we cut the tomatoes up. Then what else we got in here? Let's have a look. We got olives, so an olive, oh, some mozzarella, that'll do. Yeah, very Italian that one. So we'll have some herbs on that one. Will do. I don't want too much in there. This one, I'm going to lay a bean in the bottom. That's the shallots I just chopped up. Jalapeno mustard, ooh. A bit of tomato puree. Yeah, you can have some as well. Is that over that one? Oh, there's some rice. Oh, yeah, the rice. Bit of feta. There's the wind again. Ooh, some jalapenos. Little drizzle of oil. Right, that's it guys, in the oven now, 30 minutes. See you in half an hour or so. So there we are then, 35 minutes later. A couple of stuffed, well, one stuffed courgette. Oh yeah. I just found the jalapeno hot mustard. Well, that's a 2 thumbs up for me, guys. That's lovely. Okay then, pickled courgettes. Slice them with the mandolin, as you've just seen. What have I, about 4mm thick, I suppose. And they need salting. The idea of a salting, about an hour with salt. The idea of a salting is to take the excess moisture out, stop them going soggy in the jar. Right, a quick run through the ingredients. Apple cider vinegar, 500ml. Mustard seeds. My own chili powder from a couple of years back. Oh, moving that one. Caraway seeds and turmeric. Mustard powder. About 140 grams of sugar. Red onion. And the courgettes, obviously. Well, I reckon this has got to be one of the quickest pickles I've ever done. Hour and a half maybe, once you've gathered the ingredients, you know. And an hour of that was salting the courgettes to get the moisture out. Cook it all down, let it boil for 3 minutes and that's about it. Let it cool down a fraction, stick the courgettes in and then jar up. Sterilised jars, usual routine. Little bit of water in the bottom and microwave them for a while, you know. Obviously if you've got kilner jars like this, take the metal off first. Wipe the lids, seal, label. Ready in 4 or 6 weeks, maybe? Yeah, 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah. And here we go then, a couple of jars of pickled courgettes. The proof will be in the eating in about, like I say, 4 or 5 weeks' time. There's not much point testing it before then because the flavours will not have matured. Same as chutney, pickles need a time to get there, you know. There we go then, onto the first of the let's save a courgette to be a courgette recipe dish thingy. You can do it 2 ways. You can either do it as I'm doing and just freeze them in small chunks, or you can blanch them and freeze them. This way they'll last 2 to 3 months. If you blanch them, quench them and then freeze them, they'll last about 6-7 months. What we got here, about sugar cube sizes, I suppose. So if you are going to blanch them, 2 minutes boiling, 2 minutes in ice water. And what I'm doing this time, I'm putting them on a tray just so that they, because courgettes are very, very moisture retentive, as you know. I don't want them sticking together. If you put them straight in a bag, you'll have one big lump of courgette in a couple of months' time. So separate them out in the freezer as a tray. When they're frozen, I did this next day, but when they're frozen, pop them in a bag, and I labelled the bag because I know they're not blanched, so I wrote it on there, and I used the best before date, believe it or not. So stick them in a bag. They won't stick together then, so you can use however many courgettes you want at a time. Okay then, another let's keep the courgette as a courgette without any flavours for use in later life. Dry them. So I'm using my little mandolin V-slicer thingy and my dehydrator. You don't need either. You can chop them by hand. If you chop them by hand, try to keep them all the same size because they'll dry evenly then. You won't get one drying quicker than the other. And in the oven, 70 odd degrees, couple of hours, bit of greaseproof paper on an oven tray. That's not a bad dehydrator, this one's a budget one, you know. 5 or 6 racks, and you can turn each rack around 90 degrees or 180 degrees just to accommodate the thickness of whatever you're drying. And here's me making a hash of setting the temperature and the time. So eventually I got it to 70 degrees in 7 hours, but I didn't use 7 hours, I was outside all the time watching it, so. And there we are, a couple of hours later. Bone dry. These will keep, well, I've never done them before, so I don't know how long they'll keep, but I think they'll keep quite a long time. They are crisp as crisps. And you can throw these straight into soups and stews or whatever you want, but if you need to rehydrate them, just drop them in water 10-15 minutes and they plump up to their original size. Well, I mentioned at work that I was doing some courgette ideas, and Jenny very kindly gave me a couple of recipes. So here's the first one. Chop some red onion, chilli and garlic and fry it gently in a pan with a little olive oil, good quality olive oil. And shred your courgette with the cheese grater. Squeeze your grated courgette into tea towel, get the moisture out, add it to the pan and cook until softened. And that's the basic mix. Now, it's a great mix for adding to pasta or putting in a pancake. If you make more of it, you can put it in a frittata, make less of it, add more eggs, you can make an omelette. Or you can just add some cherry tomatoes to the pan, crack in a couple of eggs, really lazy, and eat it as it is. And for this warm salsa salad, just make ribbons out of the courgette, soak them in oil, good quality olive oil, lemon juice and basil. Griddle or grill your halloumi and make a warm tomato salsa with onions, black olives, cherry tomatoes and capers. And there we are. Looks lovely, doesn't it? I shall certainly be trying this one. Number 12. Just do what you want to do with courgettes. If it don't work, don't do it again. You could spiralise them, use it as spaghetti, use it instead of spaghetti, use it with spaghetti, you know. There's plenty to do, guys. Right then, well, let's stick on courgettes. Biggest bugbear of courgette growers? Powdery mildew. I've tried everything. I've tried 5% milk solution, 10% milk solution. My God, does that stink. I've tried baking soda. I've tried mouthwash. On the plants, yeah, okay, yeah. The only thing I found that works, and I'm in no way affiliated to these guys, SB Plant Invigorator. As it says there, mildew side. Sprayed this up a new plot yesterday, today, not a sign of it. So I can only recommend this. Yes, it's fantastic.